On the web.com tour, welcome to Clymer, New York. Final round action underway here at the LECOM Health Challenge. As for the third consecutive year, the Peak Resort playing host to the web.com tour. Steve Burkowski with you alongside the Players Champ Craig Perks. Highlights from earlier in the day. This is the second for Kyle Jones.
Yeah, began day one back. That'll certainly calm the nerves, give him some confidence heading towards that maiden victory.
Birdie gets him to 18 under. How about Sebastian Munoz? A slow start out of the gate, 2 early bogeys. This to bounce back with a birdie at 6.
Yeah, much needed, really. And that was a 7-iron from 180 yards to set up that birdie.
That got Munoz to 17 under. Now Nelson Ledesma for birdie at 7.
Yeah, leads the field, or led the field through 54 holes with his putter, so that continues on Sunday.
That got him to 19 under, now for another at the 8th.
How about 49 consecutive holes without a bogey in that period? He is 18 under par.
So Nelson Ledesma now 20 under par. The 27-year-old from Argentina leads by 3 as he's in search of his first ever win on the web.com tour. Golf Channel, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the web.com tour. Today from Peak in Clymer, New York, it's exciting final round coverage of the LECOM Health Challenge. Little piece of nice property up here in western New York State. You can see the Chautauqua Belle, one of 5 operating authentic stern wheel steamboats left in all of North America. Built between 1974 and 1976 in Mayville, New York. It was launched as part of the Chautauqua County celebration of the U.S. Bicentennial. Peak Resort, a dream of Phil Gravenick back in 1963. A year later, it opened. It was purchased by the Scott family in 2011 as they loved the charm and potential of this property. It is a 4-season resort offering year-round fun for everyone. And as this is the 17th of 23 regular season events on the web.com tour, Peak once again hosting the web.com tour. Beautiful Sunday conditions, 79 degrees, the sun is out, the winds gently breezing out of the south, 6 miles per hour. Glorious Sunday afternoon, so glad you can be with us for this final round action. Steve Burkowski, Craig Perks with you, Phil Blackmar helping us call the action, Gary Christian with the final pairing, and he's down there at the 8th as Sebastian Munoz hits his 3rd.
Great shot.
That's a par 5 that most players have a go at this, and that was a very good pitch from well short of the green there for Sebastian. We mentioned in the highlights, it wasn't a great start, but didn't get off to a good start yesterday.
Now we head over to the 9th and welcome in Phil Blackmar.
And thank you very much. Good start here for Nelson Ledesma, the 9th. A short little dogleg left, par 4. Players will lay up to that lake you see there on the left side of your screen. And what a start, 3 under already, taking control here, but we got lots of golf to go still. It's in very good shape here to try to get this ball close. Hole cut back right today. The green's very soft. Not much breeze out there at all, so very good scoring conditions once again. Look for behind what he's facing. Just a short iron, probably a wedge approach from here. Very free-flowing swing and a really good result. A chance for another birdie. Would be his 3rd in a row.
Taking advantage of the par 4s here this week, leading the field, averaging about 3.6 on the par 4s. That usually gets you on the first page of the leaderboard. Now back to 8, Kyle Jones for birdie.
Well, when you're chasing your first win, these are the putts you have to make. Uphill right to left.
Couple of birdies and a bogey through the first 8 holes for Kyle Jones. He's at 18 under par, trying to catch Nelson Ledesma. Final round action underway in western New York State. Today's moment ago at the 8th, Sebastian Munoz for birdie.
Very similar putt to Jones.
Yeah, that was a pull there, Gary. Carried too much speed. So the guy that has held or had a share of the lead 9 different times this year, over par through 8 holes today, trying to win for the first time this year.
Only player inside the top 13 right now, over par in the final round.
Now we head up to the 9th, and our leader, Nelson Ledesma. And Craig, how do you explain, we see it so often of players, he's really struggled this year, 101st on the money list, and now all of a sudden here he is playing great. We see players that happen. We saw it Michael Arnault back at the BMW. And then again, as soon as that game appears, it seems as if it disappears as quickly as it came. How do you explain that?
I don't think you can. I like the description you said, sort of free-flowing. We were out there watching on the range this morning. Angel Cabrera came to mind, and I think those guys, you know, there's not a lot of mechanical thoughts that go through the ups and downs. Maybe he got a good field key this week. He's putting great, which helps. He hasn't hit it very well this season, so maybe he's just feeling comfortable on the greens, and the hole looks larger than normal.
A chance here to extend his lead. And he is on fire. Incredible golf here on Sunday, the final round for Nelson Ledesma, looking for his first win on the Web.com Tour. Head up to the 15th tee. Blakefield here has a very nice round, going 16 under par. You can see that he's 99th on the year-long money list. The 15th, a par 3 today, playing just 162 yards. Front hole location is a scary one, and that's going to be okay.
Hey, I got a little closer look at the upper course at Peak and Peak. A little over 7,000 yards. It's at elevation of about 1,700 feet. You see course record 63, Rick Lamb when he won, Kyle Jones yesterday. We want to give a hat tip to Tom DeKoning, the superintendent, Jason Williams, the assistant superintendent, the entire staff. This place is in immaculate condition, and the players have been raving about it all week long.
And with good reason, one of the favorite stops of many of the players on the Web.com Tour. So glad you could be with us on this Championship Sunday. Steve Burkowski and the Players Champ, Craig Perks, with you. And Craig, we're in event 17 of 23 on the regular season. The calendar says July. In each and every week, it is an opportunity that comes with pressure and stress. Where is the balance of trying to make the most of that opportunity, yet understanding exactly what's ahead on a Championship Sunday?
Well, Steve, I think the guys around the bubble, 23, 24, 20, through 28, are certainly feeling that pressure. You think of Nelson Ledesma as 101st. So, each and every week provides an opportunity. As I mentioned, Nelson Ledesma, 101st on the money list. If he wins this golf tournament this week, he's going to jump to 24th. So he was just looking for something, trying to find a spark, and he's got it this week at the Peak and Peak Resort. But it's intense pressure for those guys that have played well and continue to play well and know there is a huge pot of gold at the end of the rainbow trying to get to the PGA Tour. And listen, we've only got 7 events left. It's going by pretty quickly, so the pressure certainly is mounting.
And then you look at Sebastian Munoz a year ago, a 54-hole leader at the Greenbrier on the PGA Tour. He began this day with the 54-hole lead, but for the second consecutive round, a slow start. How surprised are you by that? Yeah,
I am surprised because it's a guy that has won on this tour 2 years ago in Bogota, has graduated off this tour, had the experience of playing on the PGA Tour last year, and came in this week 11th on the money list. So I am. But you think of yesterday, he was 1 over through 7 holes, and then he played his last 11 holes 8 under. The little bit more pressure on Sunday, and I am surprised. I thought today was going to be Sebastian Munoz day. It certainly could be, but it doesn't look that way right now.
A couple years ago, had the 54-hole lead in Colombia. He won, helped him graduate to the PGA Tour. Then I referenced a Greenbrier performance a year ago. 54-hole leader, ultimately finished tied for 3rd. We will see, with plenty of golf remaining, how this one plays out on a Championship Sunday for the 25-year-old.
Well, and it looks as though he's a little wayward off the tee here at 9. What's he got, Gary?
Yeah, very much an unforced error.
It's just that there's a little bit of, supposed to be a little bit of hurt.
Just kind of like a launching pad, Dave?
Yeah. I mean, that's just
you with me, I mean, I'm not great at reading it, but I think it's pretty much.
The only thing I'm with is that it's an uphill lie, so I was kind of on the controlled one with an 8 because there's hurt.
Oh, you like this one?
I told you what I just like.
Oh, the 8.
Yeah. if you feel like this is the one, I mean, you're not going to get in trouble with this. The target changes a little bit. We're going to be hitting it more at the middle of the front. Yeah, the guy in the blue, exactly. I mean, if it flies, it's absolutely perfect, and everything's behind it to fly. Grass is dry, it'll fly. Just trust it. Great transition.
That's great. County player into play there. 165 yards. Looks like an 8-iron he said he was going to hit. Just playing away from the flag slightly. Slight fly lie, though.
Interesting stance, that short iron with the feet way open and the shoulders closed.
It's got to go a little.
Comes up well short, Gary. That'll be a difficult up and down, up and over Little Ridge.
Something we have introduced this year on the web.com tour, and that's your involvement. Use the hashtag #AskTheWeb. Question, comment, anything you might like a little more information on. We will gladly provide that.
And back over the 15th, see if Mark Blakefield can knock this one in for birdie. He's got 3 birdies in a row, 11, 12, and 13, and that one just slides by. Back for Jones at the 9th.
Yeah, very aggressive drive off the tee. 123 yards left. Just got a little ridge to deal with, 15 feet short. That's head him right. But on the section.
Yeah, only about 10 or 12 feet from the hole, so a good shot there for Kyle Jones.
Championship Sunday in Clymer, New York. This trophy up for grabs will go to the winner by day's end. Nelson Ledesma leads by 3, getting ready for his second shot here at the par 4 10th. And the 27-year-old has seemingly looked like he's in complete control of this day.
Likes to hit a little draw, could use a slope right of this flag. Should set up nicely. Oh, beautiful shot. There you go, right underneath. The flag couldn't have left it in a much better spot.
4 under on the front 9, now 21 under and cruising right along.
Back at the 9th now, 3rd shot for Munoz.
Well, Phil, as you said, a tricky little pitch up and over a little slope here. Just a little chip and run. Oh, this is looking pretty good here. Really good.
Wow, it was an excellent touch there by Sebastian Munoz. Up a couple to the 11th. Lebiota's second shot here on the par 5, the easiest hole on the golf course entire week. Today's hole location a little more difficult, presents a little bit of a challenge for these players. I think even par in his round today, he'll have that for eagle, a chance to get a couple back, couple early bogeys. Derailed him a little bit, but he's coming back nicely now.
Up ahead to 14, Oscar Fraustro has this for birdie.
And a pretty quick putt. Everything sort of falls away beyond this flag. Needs a really big week. Began at 83rd on the money list. He's 5 under right now for the day.
Oh, how about that?
Oh, beautiful.
So Fraustro now 16 under, currently tied for 4th, and you referenced 83rd. You saw that red chiclet next to his name. It's the point of the season. Players not only looking to get inside the 25, but make sure they get inside that 75 as well.
They're currently projected 60th, so making a nice jump this week.
Jones for birdie at 9.
Very similar putt to the previous hole. Must make you think. That's one. When you're chasing, you got to make those.
One forced error, miss there. He certainly would have liked to have had, as you mentioned, Gary.
Se-Young Kim tied Annika Sorenstam for the lowest 54-hole total in LPGA Tour history at 24 under par. Watch today to see if she can set the all-time scoring record. The Thornberry Creek LPGA Classic continues right after us, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Little record, perhaps, in the making there on the LPGA Tour.
24 under, that's some low scoring.
Mark Blakefield second at 16.
Yeah, pretty accessible hole location here at 16. It's not ordinarily that way. There's some room up there. He tried to carry it deep and bring it back down the slope. That will be a speedy little pitch. Blakefield 5 under today, currently tied for 4th.
Hard pressed to find a single cloud in the sky on this beautiful Sunday afternoon in Clymer, New York. Make our way down to the green. Nelson Ledesma, Roger Sloan in the second to last pairing. And Sloan was a player you thought maybe keep an eye on. And this Sunday, starting the day 4 back, but has experience on this tour. He's won here before.
Yeah, and I think he'd be very disappointed. Out in 40 without a birdie. 4 over on his round and began the day 4th. He's now 31st. He's getting run over. Show yourself something on this back 9. He's probably not going to win this golf tour in 11 shots back, but try and come home in 30. Good opportunity here. Putt that will swing to his left.
Won in Nova Scotia back in 2014. Finished 24th on the money list that year. So Sloan misses that. We go back to the tee at 10 with Kyle Jones.
Yeah, so this, I think this is the right play for Kyle. Just the 3 with the fairway runs out down the right about 285. Guy that normally very accurate for the year and the inside the top 20 on tour, and he only missed 1 fairway today.
So from the fairway for Kyle Jones at 10 all the way up to the green where we find tournament leader Nelson Ledesma, 21 under par, and another look at birdie. Rookie year on the Web.com tour. His very first event was in Panama. Finished tied for 11th. That's his only top 25 finish on the Web.com tour this season.
And look at the 1-putt percentage, close to 55%. And this is in a great spot. Very little break, straight up the hill. I would very much expect him to make this for 4 straight birdies. Now you saw it sort of jump right off the putter there, so that was misstruck.
Take a look at the hot streak Nelson Ledesma is on in this final round. This was for a birdie at 7.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive stuff. And then the 8th is the par 5. This stroke is just stress-free right here. There's no hesitation in it. There's no stress in the arms. And now this swinging from left to right. Down the hill to the, and poured it right. And this 26 putts he's averaged through the first 3 days and continuing it today.
So the hat trick or the turkey, whatever sport you prefer. That was birdies 3 in a row, 7, 8, and 9 to 21 under. Had a great look there at 10 for the young man that played a half dozen years on PGA Tour Latino America from 2011 to 2017.
Yeah, and he knows how to win. He's won 6 times internationally, never here in the States. So this would be the biggest win of his career and put him inside the top 25 on the money list with 6 events remaining in the regular season.
Over at 16, Stephen M, his second at the par 4. Oh, excuse me, Sung J M. Got confused with Stephen M there.
Yeah, that's a good. That's exactly what you have to do. Fly it beyond the flag, bring it back down the slope.
Seen a lot of that from him this year.
He has played so well on Sunday, leads the tour in scoring average. 11 Sundays he's played, Steve, coming into today, 11 rounds in the 60s.
Looking for another here at the LECOM Health Challenge as Ledesma continues to lead. His advantage is 3. Munoz started this final round with a 1-shot lead. 1 over on the front 9, now trails by 4. This is second at 10.
Likes to do a little draw, so again that should set up nicely that left hole location. Certainly holding the finish, must like it. And will it catch the slope? It will not. Pretty close to being really good. Maybe another 5 feet left. Would have gone all the way down to the hole.
Up ahead at 16, this for par for Mark Blakefield, former college teammate of J.B. Holmes, back at the University of Kentucky.
It's another big weekend for Mark, 99th on the money list and 16 under, currently in inside the top 5. Good save from the back of the green here.
Back to the 10th. We saw the approach shot from Munoz. Now we'll see what Kyle Jones can do.
Like what he's doing, aiming a little right, trying to turn it right to left. But he missed the slope significantly. That's a poor shot from such a short range there. Going to be a speedy putt over in the spine.
Up the tee of the 11th now, the par 5, our leader Ledesma.
Very reachable today, very little wind. That's well struck, just drifting down the right side. Needs a little help to stay in the fairway.
Fairway speeding up a little bit, and that just stops short of the primary cutter rough, so should be okay.
Now over at 16, Sung Jae Im. Great second shot. This short one for birdie.
Give it to him.
Give it to him.
He
Pick it
hasn't
up.
missed one of these all year. There you go, 4 under, gets to 15 under. He's got 5 top 10s on the year. Looks like he's going to post another one. And
Maybe the quietest
yep,
performance of a man that took over the top spot on the money list the very first event and has not relinquished it. The only player over $300,000 this year.
16 straight weeks at number 1, and he'll maintain that. Yeah, basically had his card locked up after winning at Exuma, second at Abaco. He's also another second this year in Knoxville. 5 top 10s, 9 top 25s. It's been impressive stuff.
Most of those players on the first page in a good spot.
Yeah.
These guys work to do. What are we gauging? About 174,000 if all things continue being equal?
Phil's the mathematician. He figured out it's the way it's been going the first 16 events. It's going to take about 174,000. There might be a little pucker factor coming along towards the end of the season, so it may drop down to about 170,000. But it's been some excellent golf. We haven't seen multiple winners this year. That's why they're all condensed.
We've watched Cameron Champ this week. Played so well the last month heading into the Peak and Peak event, yet still 12 grand behind just getting inside that 25. So while there's an opportunity each and every week, there's also a lot of pressure and work to do.
And we look from above, back down the 11th fairway. Roger Sloan's going to be first to play. Tough day so far for Roger, out in 4 over par 40.
Yeah.
Oh, big opportunity to get one back, start clawing it back little by little. Just about 225 yards left for Roger. Just the only place you can't miss it is left on this flag.
All cut today in the back left corner of the green.
Well, it's certainly a good hit, but it's aiming going a little left.
It gets a good kick, Gary, off the slope, just off the fringe. Should be a pretty easy chip from there. A chance maybe to chip it in for eagle.
Back to the 10th, Kyle Jones for birdie.
Yeah, here's the ridge here, so everything will go this way. And you know, the pressure, you can tell by the body language, it's getting a little uneasy out there.
And up one to the 11th now, and Nelson Ledesma with his second on the par 5.
Certainly in prime position. Yeah, you're right, he does have that very languid swing, doesn't he? Beautiful to watch. Certainly can move it out there pretty long as well, just inside 200 yards here.
Watch his footwork too, a key to his swing. Really, really good footwork.
Pretty good strike. Yeah, good result.
Yep, comes up on the front of the green, a long putt, probably 75, 80 feet from there, but it will be for eagle. So in good shape here on the 11th. 2 putts, pick up another shot.
Now back to the green at 10. Munoz try to get back to even on the day and within 3 of Ledesma.
Here's the problem hasn't been the ball striking. He's had 17 putts through the first 9 holes. That's basically 2 a hole. Fast one down the hill moving away to his right. was a pretty good effort, just didn't move at the end.
Good hole.
So par at 10 for Munoz, stays 4 back, and seeing just how well Ledesma's playing, Sebastian's going to need to dial up something on this back nine like he did yesterday.
He's going to need at least 30, I would say. 6 more birdies, get to 23 under, which is what it took here last year when Chesson Hadley beat Bo Hostel by a shot.
Keep it here at 10. Kyle Jones, work to do for his par. Shot a final round 73 at the Rust-Oleum Championship last month to finish tied for 6. He was one of those in the mix in the final round that just didn't quite have his best stuff on that day.
This will certainly test the nerves. Big putt, especially with a par 5 coming up. See the head move, the peak early, shoved it out to the right. A lot of anxiety. And it's rampant, really, on a Sunday. The web.com tour for guys trying to win for the first time.
But that bogey pretty much because of an indifferent approach shot with a short iron.
Yeah, he had the right idea, trying to turn it from right to left.
Young man who will turn 25 next Sunday, 2-time All-American at Baylor University. Just a couple of top 10s in his very young career out here on the web.com tour, but in position to make a big move up this money list. Even though he trails by 4, that money still counts the same when we get to Portland in August.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Some days you have it and some days you don't. And really when you don't, you've got to make some adjustments. We change your game plan a little bit, do some things differently to try and get a spark.
Now to the tee at 12, the short downhill par 4. This is the tee shot for Hank Lebioda.
Yeah, it plays so much downhill, 35 yards. And he certainly uncorked that one, get all the way up to the hole high.
Nothing was stopping that one from getting all the way
He's got a
back to that hole location.
Great chance for an eagle.
Now at 16, Fraustro, his second shot.
Plenty enough space. It's like a thumbprint in the green, so you carry it up on top of that. Only a shot of about 75 yards there. And maybe too close. That's why he was unable to put any backspin, bring it back down that slope.
Back to the 11th now, a long eagle putt for our leader, Nelson Ledesma.
Well, Phil, this will be a great indication, won't it, how his touch and his nerves and his feelings are right here. About 80 feet uphill, then should dive just a little to his right.
Yeah, so here's there's quite a significant ridge that goes this way and everything feeds here, but there's also some influence coming off the edge there. So I'd say anything inside 3 or 4 feet here, Phil, would be great.
Absolutely. You know, when you get hot with the putter like he is right now, or has been all week, don't force it. Just get out of the way. The ball's trying to find the hole. Just let it go.
He's just got to slow down.
Yeah, certainly gets just off the back of the green, so it doesn't even keep it on the green. And he'll have probably 12 to 14 feet left for his birdie. Look there, what he's done this year. It's been a struggle coming out of the blue this week to play so well. And Gary should have had a pretty good look at this one going by. I don't think that from this angle it's going to break to the left nearly as much.
No, it shouldn't do. He was, well, at that pace, they were all straight, weren't they? That really raced by. Yeah, you just got to gather yourself.
Well, if anything, I think it's possible this putt right at first might move back the other direction. So.
Yeah, I can. From the angle I'm standing, you can see there's just a little bit of darkness from the left side of the green, which indicates there's a little bit more of that slope bringing it to the right.
And there it is going back the other way just a little bit. So 3-putt par, not a bogey, a 3-putt par for Ledesma, and the lead will stay at 4. What a week it is. What an opportunity for Nelson Ledesma, looking for his first win on the Web.com Tour, trying to make it to the PGA Tour for the first time. Can he get it done? We'll find out this afternoon.
Back at 12, we saw the impressive tee shot here on the short par 4 by Hank Lebioda. This for eagle to get to 17 under.
Well, it's still a very good birdie. No hindrance in that stroke whatsoever.
And he came into the week 24th on the money list during the regular season, so an opportunity to improve that standing. 3 straight birdies to kick off the back 9 for Lebioda. Download now, follow live for real-time scoring of each Web.com Tour event, player scorecards, and many more unique features. All you have to do is visit PGAtour.com to download now.
Back to the 11th now. Kyle Jones has missed the fairway. Second shot here at the par 5, an important hole for this pairing. 4 shots back, an opportunity to get 1, maybe 2 back on Nelson Ledesma here. A very reachable par 5. Don't know that he can get there out of this lie, though. We can see the ball, so maybe he can run this up. Low left. That's going to be a tough angle coming out of the rough to pitch from, with the hole cut in the back left part of the green, as you can see right there, be coming across that knob. Hard to get it close.
Now to the tee at 12. Tournament leader Nelson Ledesma. His advantage is 4, and gonna give it a go.
Well, as Craig said, I think an absolutely crucial drive here. If you can make birdie here, you put just that little extra bit of daylight, just gives you that little bit of extra wiggle room.
Hasn't driven it well today. Only 4 of 9 fairways. Pretty small target down there.
It's starting down the left and it's pulled a little bit. It's going to head towards the bunker.
And it's, you know, that bunker is well below the level of the green. Everything falling away from, and from that lie you could see slightly on the downslope. So it'll be a very difficult up and down. You would hate to throw away the birdie on the last hole, and this is one of the easiest par 4s on the golf course, and that is an extremely difficult up and down.
Back to 11.
And Munoz also missing the fairway. A better angle from here if you can get the club cleanly on this ball. And really hard. Oh, what a terrible kick. Across the right-hand side of the green and into the bunker. The ball's going to be below his feet, coming across a ridge to a back tier. A very difficult up and down from right there.
That's golf, Phil. Over par on Sunday. That thing could have very easily just kicked left and gone all the way up on the correct plateau of that green.
Now over at the 16th, Oscar Fraustro for birdie.
Very quick putt, but really not much movement in it. You got to be cautious to give that one a go. You could run it in comfortable distance past, so you'll remain tied for 4th.
5 under on the day for Fraustro, making a late charge up the leaderboard on this championship Sunday, but they're all trying to catch Nelson Ledesma, the 27-year-old. 4 under on the day, leads by 4. So our final round coverage from Clymer, New York continues.
And back at the 11th here, Kyle Jones, 3rd shot on the par 5. See if you can judge it out of this rough. He's got a little point right there. He's going to have to come across that. Now it's going to break to the right, and that is judged really nice. That is a spectacular touch from that position for Kyle Jones. At the 13th, just off the green, Hank Lebioda off to a poor start. Bogeys, 2 of them in his first 4 holes. Coming across the green here. Oh, knocks it in from off the green. His 4th birdie in a row. He has broken loose and moved all the way up into a tie for 2nd.
Back down to the 12th, tournament leader Nelson Ledesma, his 2nd from the greenside bunker.
Well, that's a good 6-7 feet below the level. Could easily hit this off the green if he doesn't quite get it right. Only about 15 feet of green to work with.
So in the wrong spot off the tee, a challenging 2nd for Ledesma. He'll have that long one remaining for birdie. Glad to be back in Clymer, New York for a 3rd consecutive year. And Tom Wedzik, LECOM Board of Trustee member, joins me here in the booth. And since we were here a year ago, Tom, what's new with LECOM?
What's new with LECOM? A lot's new with LECOM. In fact, this year we graduated our largest class of osteopathic physicians, dentists, and pharmacists. And with each new class, LECOM prepares the largest number of primary care physicians, and many of which serve in underserved communities. We now have over 11,000 alumni over our 26-year history. 100% this year of our new physicians were actually found matches in hospitals, which now begins their postgraduate career, and we're very proud of that fact. We added a new program this year, and it is a Master's in Science of Biomedical Education. Big word. What's that do? Well, this program is designed to help healthcare providers better identify the cultural differences of their patients. And by doing so, it'll guide them into improving their health care. And that's one of our big motivations going forward. So it's been a very busy and a rewarding year for us so far.
And certainly impressive work done by all of you. And how does being part of the LECOM Health Challenge benefit these students?
Well, the LECOM Scholarship Fund is one of several charitable organizations who benefit from this event. And LECOM strives, and has always strived, to keep our tuition costs and the cost of medical education affordable as it can be. Unfortunately, even if you keep your costs as low, and we remain one of the lowest cost providers out there in the nation, many of our students will still accumulate a large amount of debt. And much takes 15 to 20 years to repay. So the proceeds of this event, along with our other fundraisers, has allowed us to provide $4 million this year in scholarships to our deserving students, and almost $30 million over our 26-year career. So the LECOM Challenge does in fact help a lot of, more than just a few students, okay? So that really will add to, again, the coffers so that we continue to provide scholarship for these kids. They need it.
Tom, remarkable work as always.
Steve,
thanks for having us.
Steve, thank you.
Always a pleasure to come back.
Golf Channel's been great. Thank you.
We love being a part of it. Tom Wedzik from LECOM, part of the Board of Trustee, and special thanks throughout this week. So many people involved in making it happen. Michelle Turner, Tournament Director, Tom DeConing, the Course Superintendent, and Dwayne Randall, the PGA professional. Always enjoy coming up to Western New York State as the Web.com Tour has returned for a 3rd consecutive year.
And over at the 11th now, Munoz for you. Got to think maybe it must make birdie here. Bunker shot to this point, and he didn't like how that one came off the putter. You can tell by his reaction.
So Munoz, his struggles continue on Sunday. Ledesma has not struggled this for birdie.
Tough 40-footer uphill, and then flattens at the top. Into the green now. It'll go down green at the top. Not a bad putt at all. Beautifully done.
Ledesma's 21 under. He leads by 4. But if things get tight coming down the stretch, he'll look back at 11 and 12 as missed opportunities.
And now back at the 11th, Kyle Jones, same situation as Munoz. Got to think a must make. He misses another one. Seems as though he's missed nearly all those on the right-hand side. So neither player, Jones or Munoz, able to convert for birdie here at the easy par 5 11th.
So as we wrap up this week at the LECOM Health Challenge, there will be just 6 events remaining before the Web.com Tour Finals, and the pressure is on to get inside the top 25 and earn a PGA Tour card. Don't miss the excitement at the Utah Championship presented by Zions Bank. Our coverage begins Thursday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern.
91.
Now back up on the 13th tee. Looks like Roger Sloan may be first to play here on the par 3.
Yeah, wind coming back into him a little today.
One would be back.
Playing about as long as it will all week. 205. Back into the wind, but downhill about 15 yards. Good solid 5-iron for Roger.
Now he's really let a great opportunity go by here, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's interesting watching him. He's such an elegant swinger of the golf cup. It almost looks like it's too easy for him. Everything just looks so good. This is starting down the right side, trying to draw back.
Yeah,
There's
very
that little ridge. Yeah, well done there.
certainly was, Gary. A nice shot just beneath the hole there. Had it right on line.
Back 1 to the 12th. Munoz on the tee.
Well, it's a great opportunity. He has to think in the back of his mind, I'm going to try and make eagle here. Get to 19 under. Just to start with a good tee shot. Find the green.
He played so well Saturday, looked on the leaderboard on the back 9 and said, wow, I'm not even winning. Now he has the chance to look at the board, realize I'm not playing very well, but I still have a chance.
Yeah, it was a really good shot to get it on the green. But you're right, he's one of the few guys recently on this tour that have actually looked at the leaderboard to see where they are.
Back at the 13th now, Nelson Ledesma.
You can imagine the next couple of holes may be quite crucial. Yeah, just maybe lost his way just a little bit, let a couple of opportunities slip. If he can just hit a couple of solid shots next couple of holes, I think will really get the fight back in him, ready to finish things off.
Well, the next 2 holes playing 3rd and 4th most difficult on the day, Gary.
Ooh, he's hit that fat, and that's way right. That's going to be way short of the green. I think nerves may be playing a big factor now, Phil.
Well, certainly one a good shot there. You can see his ball just to the right of the cart path. It's going to be well above his feet. He'll have lots of green to work with from there. Shouldn't be a problem making bogey. May be very difficult for him to get that up and down for par.
You have to get the mental state correct after a poor shot like that.
Now, back at 12, Jones.
He's going to have to really
Get after it.
release one to get it all the way to the green. Not the longest guy on tour. Oh, it's so unfortunate. Hit right in the upslope and kicked it left. But not too bad coming up the slope. Moving to his right.
Hank Lebioda making a move here on the back 9. Getting ready for his second shot at 14.
Yeah, and Phil mentioned that third toughest hole on the golf course.
Especially with set. Yeah. With this club still. Okay. I don't know. I like the set.
Sets up nicely for the lefty here. It's going to require a cut, but from the right-hand side of the fairway, he's staring at the entirety of the green. And he hit 85% of the greens through the first 3 rounds. You saw the graphic, just 8 greens today through 13 holes.
Played the front 9, 1 over 37. Birdie 10, 11, 12, and 13. Now tied for second.
Oh. And I admire the courage of going at this flag, but that is not a good spot to be. Short-sighted, well below the level of the green, and everything is running away from him.
Hank Lebioda came into this week 24th on the money list. Right now projected 9th, an opportunity to lock up one of those, the PGA Tour card for next season.
And that is the ball of Nelson Ledesma well above his feet. Looks to be lying okay, though, Gary.
Yeah, not too bad. About a 35, 40-yard shot, though. Got to contend with a little ridge, which he's done fairly well. That's a pretty good shot, I think, from that lie.
I'll give him better than pretty good. I think that's really good under the situation and conditions. He got a chance to make a par.
Kyle Jones now at 12, his second shot. 16 under, 5 back.
Got a lot of slope, so pitch it into that fringe and just let it kick to the right. Scrambling numbers excellent this week. He's only missed 10 greens. He's got 8 of them up and down.
Now back to the 13th, Ledesma with this for par to maintain his 4-shot lead.
Should just move a little left to right. Oh, nicely done.
If there was any doubt about his nerves getting the best of him, he may have answered it right there. What a brilliant up and down from the side of the hill. Maintains his lead.
Back to 12, long eagle putt here for Munoz.
Slowest on the golf course, up a significant rise. And I would say that was completely misread. Struggles continue for the man who led by 1 after or through 54 holes. Not the Sunday that he was wanting, but still time. That putt is going to be for his birdie.
And still a lot to play for. 11th on the money list coming into this week. If he holds his position right now, projected to move up to 4th.
Up to the 15th now. Cameron Champ on the tee of this par 362 yards coming down the hill. Champ at -12. Not the kind of day he wanted to this point. A little slope back there, a little back slope. Could it be? Could it be? Yes, it is. Hole in one for Cameron Champ. There you go. Well, that'll get you started. Possibly his first hole in one as a professional, just 23 years old.
Got to smile more than that when you make an ace, don't you?
Yeah, you got to give us a little more reaction. It's a big smile for him. Not the most outgoing of players. Watch this. It's going to land up on the slope behind the hole. And here it comes.
Now it's like a putt. Look at this, just taking the slope and dead center. What a thrill.
Well, look at the tee shot of Jim Herman. He's in there about 12 or 14 inches, thinking, all right, I got a skin on this one, and Champ does him one better. Well done, Cameron Champ with an ace at the 15th. It's a stress-free walk to the green. No putter needed to be in his hand. Birdie there at 12 for Kyle Jones. That gets him back to even par on the day. 17 under, one of 3 tied for second place at the current time.
Yeah, 5-6 there. Probably derail any thoughts of winning this golf tournament. It's at 10 and 11, but nice bounce back birdie.
So now to the tee at 14. We saw Ledesma with an all-world par save after the bad tee shot at 13, going with iron here at the par 4.
Yeah, I think a smart play with the fairway starting to firm up a little. The widest part of the fairway ends at about 280, so this should be perfect. A low shot down the right. I'm not sure if that's coming back enough, though.
Yeah, the only problem with hit 9, which I agreed with Gary, is that if you miss the fairway, now a lengthy second into this hole that is close to 440 yards to a difficult left hole location.
Up to the green at the 14th. See if Hank Lebioda can save his par.
Yeah, remember, I missed it long and left. This would be a great up and down.
Impressive by the young man who played his college golf at Florida State. He remains 17 under par. Trying to move his way up that money list. Now back to 12. Short one here for Munoz and his birdie.
Really must make. Get him to 18 under. So he's 3 back. Guy that knows how to win on this tour when he won a couple of years ago in Colombia.
Still within reach. Bogeys at 2 and 4. Birdies at 6 and 12. Back to even on the day. But the shot of the day so far, Cameron Champ at 15.
Oh, it's such a thrill. This hole is magnificent. And played it perfectly.
Just the second hole-in-one in tournament history. Cameron Champ with an ace. We'll meet him at the 19th hole when this day's done. That's the golf ball of Nelson Ledesma at 14. Missed the fairway with his tee shot. This is second.
Certainly a very dangerous shot here, 187 yards. Not a bad lie, though. But the ball above his feet, you do not want to miss this hole left. Hazard, only 10 yards left of the green. That's another one's come out very, very soft down the right side. Good kick, though.
Yeah, all in all, Gary, that's really not too bad. Plenty of green with which to work, and obviously thinking clearly. You give that one a little bit of ride and try and take that flag on. To your point, you can bring 6 into play in a hurry.
13T now, Sebastian Munoz coming off that birdie. So he's hit 10 12 greens today. It's been the putter that has betrayed him. 205 yards down the hill, and a very good chance to get another birdie.
Yeah, that would get him within 2 of Ledesma, so this one far from over. Matt Barr joining us using the hashtag AskTheWeb and wondering what our favorite hole is out here at the LECOM Health Challenge.
Well, I think it's got to be the 12th because it falls, you know, sort of the beginning of the back 9 after the par 5, 11, which is reachable. 12th's the drivable par 4. So much can happen. You can make 2s all the way to 5s, and there are a lot of good holes with all. There's a great look from our cameraman Jan Perkins, about 120 feet up in the crane cam, looking right down that hole. And we've seen Cameron Champ hit a 2-iron on the screen. We've seen Cameron Champ lay up, the longest player on this tour, and certainly it gives a lot of chances for a lot of fluctuations on the scoreboard.
One of the many great holes here at Peak and Peak on the upper course. You want to join us on the broadcast? Send us a tweet. Use the hashtag AskTheWeb. Happy to have you aboard.
And back to the 13th, Kyle Jones, also coming off birdie. And another brilliant shot. In fact, that's in there inside of 3 feet. And so finally this pairing's starting to make a little noise.
16, another great hole on this golf course. Willie Wilcox, this is second shot.
3 under on his round. I like where he's laid this up back and to the left, and good view at that whole location, pushed all the way back from the right. Phil, you talked to him on the range. He's feeling good about his golf swing right now.
He is. He's been working with Wayne DeFrancisco and feels really good about it. As we head back to the 13th, and it looks like Munoz will be first to go. The putter, as I mentioned earlier, has been the struggle. And Craig, we see it so often here on Sundays. There's so much on the line for these guys, and the impact of that, it can create a lot of mental clutter, and that's when you really have to concentrate your way through that, find some freedom. And just watching Munoz's body language today, he's just looked a little tight, just a little bit. That reaction, he birdied the last, he didn't really even smile. It was almost an embarrassed look. See if he can get this one in here and pull him within 2. Comes up short. You can't leave that short. Just a little out of sorts on the greens. It will do it to you. They're playing for so much out here, trying to get to the PGA Tour.
And they're also trying to catch this man, Nelson Ledesma. He gets ready for his 3rd at 14.
Another awkward chip, about 30 yards. Certainly, it's never easy, is it, to win your first web.com event? Not too much to it, though. Fairly flat landing area. Just one of those fairly basic chip and runs. It'll be pretty easy on a Tuesday. Maybe not so easy today.
These Argentinians have a lot of flair and creativity around the green. I like that play, Gary. That was with a high lofted club but bordering low and sort of little hook spin to that flag. Great shot.
But for the 2nd straight hole, will be tested to save his par and remain at 21 under.
The 15th now, the par 3. Lebioda has come up short on the bank. Not a hard pitch if the lie's good. Like he got pretty good contact on that. That's going to work past the hole, though, and a fast putt coming down the hill for par. Back at 13th, just a 2.5 footer here for Kyle Jones to pull within 2. All right. Nice birdie on the 4th hardest hole on the golf course. Back-to-back birdies. And he has played his way back into this tournament.
Up to 18, the finishing par 5. Oscar Fraustrow to end his day with birdie.
It's a good round of golf. It really is for Oscar.
Started the week 83rd on the money list. Projected to move up inside that top 70, which is critical. Those top 75 get you to the finals. Projected now 64th for Fraustrow, so that was a big final round and a big birdie at the last.
And a big putt here for Lebioda to stay at 17 under, going down the hill. That was a solid effort right there. Gave it a lot of pace, knocked it right in the back, so he stays just 4 back currently.
Now over at 14. Par putt upcoming here for Nelson Ledesma. This to stay at 21 under. His lead now just 2 shots over Kyle Jones.
Just about 7-8 feet left. I see very, very little break to this. Just got to show a little courage, don't you, to step up. Big deep breath, just let it go.
Oh, that is magnificent. And think of it, he will look back if he wins this golf tournament. The 2 saves at 13 and 14. Fantastic.
It's getting a little more congested. That 4-shot lead is now just 2 as the former Baylor Bear Kyle Jones giving chase. Munoz played his college golf at the University of North Texas, still within reach as Championship Sunday continues on the Web.com tour. Hank Lebioda on the tee.
Yeah, I like the iron here. You only need to hit about 250. Just make sure you get it in the fairway so you can control the distance with the wedge.
Go ahead.
I like it. Good angle there, that whole location. Been rock solid from tee to green this week.
Back to the 15th now. There's the green. 162 yards, steeply downhill, front left hole location. Ledesma's on the tee.
What do you think, Phil? After a couple of great escapes the last 2 holes, easy to maybe relax a little. Maybe this may be a really important shot just to really get that focus back.
I think, Gary, it's a good time for him to get a short iron in his hands and not have to hit a long club.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been working a soft little draw all day, so this flag certainly would suit him. When just going back into the players a little bit.
There's one thing he does in his swing. He gets a little loose with his grip. It has changed direction. You might watch that. That might have been the cause of the fat shot he hit back at the 13th.
This is an 8 iron for Nelson. Certainly a better strike. Just a little right might catch the little side slope.
Yes, there it goes, working towards the hole. Good call, Gary. And it continues to get better and better. So a nice birdie opportunity coming up for Nelson Ledesma. Something he hasn't had in a few holes. A well-earned smile.
Lisa wants to know what the key is for a player to stay consistent and finish strong week after week as we watch Munoz here at 14.
The biggest key is that we mentioned earlier the game will throw so much at you, so much mental stuff at you as we watch Munoz here. It is dealing with that, staying in your comfort zone and not putting too much pressure on yourself and trying to organize your thoughts and your feelings when you play. So easy to get out of that.
Second on the way for Munoz, and the one place you don't want to miss it.
Yeah, again, I admire it because it was a great angle from the right side to take on that flag, and Sebastian is currently 3 back, but looks to be sitting okay, so he might be able to loft it up there and get it within 4 or 5 feet.
Keep it right here at 14, the final pairing. Kyle Jones up next. How does it change, though, Phil, on a Sunday, on the back 9, when you're in contention to try to win, especially with a lot of these 20-somethings in the mix?
There was so much on the line. Certainly here for Kyle Jones, a lot on the line. Everything speeds up, Steve. Everything wants to speed up, and you get to feeling a little bit distracted. And when it's quicker and you feel distracted, it's hard to be confident. And you lose confidence, you become a little bit unsure. You get a little unsure, you get a little tight. Tension changes the sequence of your golf swing. So it's and a beautiful shot there. It's just kind of starts a snowball rolling that you got to stop at some point.
How much do you have to be aware of that things are changing and maybe going a bit quicker than normal?
The best players are very much aware of it. It's something the players on this tour need to learn.
After the ace at 15, Cameron Champ looking to back it up with birdie.
Keep it going. Yeah, nicely done. There you go, 15 under inside the top 10.
Came into this week with 3 consecutive top 10 finishes. Cameron Champ, former college standout at Texas A&M, and really burst on to the national scene at the U.S. Open in 2017 at Erin Hills. He was in the top 5 halfway home before finishing 32nd. Played on the victorious Walker Cup team last September for the United States of America. And he said he believed that was the right time to leave school and turn professional.
Well, he's got a tremendous skill set, no question about it. He's learning to play the game at the professional level, and it's been on a heck of a run the last 4 weeks.
See the whole location there at 16. Cameron Champ just made his birdie there. Carlos Ortiz gets ready for his second.
Just Just 2 under on his round today, but he and his coach Justin Pointer have been really working hard on his wedge game. He's had a good year so far without a victory, 15th on the money list. Looking for another top 10. He's had 4 so far this year, and that's the disadvantage of coming out of the rough, unable to put any spin on it.
Keep it right here at 16. Lebiota up next.
Craig, we watched Hank warm up, and he didn't look that comfortable with his golf swing, and he makes 2 bogeys early on, and all of a sudden he's taken off. Times like that, really good players are able to survive for a while. They find a little feel key in their swing, and then they're off to the races. You think something like that may have happened here with Hank?
Yeah, no question about it. He birdied the 7th hole, which is a very difficult par 4, and that sort of set him free. And again, the lefty here, I think he can sort of hook it up the slope there, and that's a good shot. Now, I think the biggest tension reliever in golf is confidence, and he may have been lacking it through 6 holes being 2 over, but he's certainly gaining it in this back 9 with 4 straight birdies from 10 through 13.
Back over at 14, third here for Munoz.
And the short game has not been great, but he's only missed 11 greens all week. He's only got 5 of them up and down. On the upslope helps. Good lie helps, but not a lot of green to work with. And very good shot indeed.
So he'll have that to improve his scrambling stats to 6th of 12, would be 50% on the week. And to keep him at 18 under and within reach, just 3 behind Ledesma.
And here is Ledesma with a good birdie opportunity.
Just about 12 feet, slightly downhill right to left. It's interesting watching him just sort of shaking out his shoulders, getting the tension out of the upper body. Veteran move there, I think.
Well, an important putt, Gary. This would extend his lead to 3. A little breathing room here if he can knock this one in. I think he hit it exactly where he wanted. Gary had a great look from behind. A worm's eye view down there, and it didn't turn at the end. So all pars here on the inward 9 for Nelson Ledesma.
Over at 14, Kyle Jones for birdie to get within 1.
Yeah, this would be 3 straight birdies on the third most difficult hole on the golf course. Just giving up 9 birdies all day, excuse me, and that was a wishful effort there. Give him credit. That's a guy that's about to turn 25 and has never won on this tour, and the bogeys, well, the bogey at 10 and the par 11 derailed the momentum, but birdies 12 and 13 and a good par here at the difficult 14th.
From 14 to 16, Carlos Ortiz has this from above the hole for birdie. 3 times a winner on the web.com tour in 2014. Spent a couple of years on the PGA Tour, and a place he's looking to go back to in hopefully just a few months' time.
Well, he's talked a lot about just improvement, every day trying to get better. He doesn't feel like he needs to change a lot. Just he's got a lot of confidence, sort of just maintenance. This one will all depend how it comes through the couple of feet of fringe that goes down the hill to roll through there nicely. Oh, what an effort.
Something he'll have to change is maybe his time management. Recently became a father for the first time, so we know that changes things just a little bit. 14, Munoz for par. Great up and down by Sebastian, keeping himself with the slightest of chances. Stays at 18 under, 3 behind Ledesma, 4 holes to go. Go to the tee at 16. Ledesma, 6 straight pars, Phil, as you talked about on the back 9. Will 3 more pars coming in be enough?
It's not up to us, is it?
No, it's not. It's the question that we'll answer in the next hour.
Cool. That was about head high, and I think that should be perfect. Interesting shot there.
Yeah, I like it. Just sort of a bullet, little low draw. Get it somewhere in the fairway.
So from the tee at 16, we'll move up to the green at this short par 4. Lebioda for birdie to get to 18 under.
Yeah, and this is a big putt. Potentially with a couple of birdie holes coming in, try and maybe post 20 and put a little bit of pressure, but it's a disappointing miss there for the 24-year-old.
He will remain 17 under, tied for 4th, 4 shots behind Nelson Ledesma, champ with an ace at the 15th here on Championship Sunday. Munoz, Jones trying to catch Nelson Ledesma, the 27-year-old, perhaps on cusp of a victory. Back at 16, second for Ledesma.
Touchy little wedge shot from 107 yards. Got to get it up to the hole. Otherwise it will spin off. Oh, what a shot this is. What a shot.
Yeah, it certainly shows the nerves are somewhat under control. Right over the flag, controlled the distance beautifully.
Ledesma 21 under par, leads by 2.
Now back to 15th tee, Kyle Jones. Big opportunity here, aiming way right. Trying to bring it in with a little draw to this front left hole location, 162. Asking for it to go. It went. Will it catch the slope?
Go, go, go.
Here it comes.
Go, go, go.
And this may end up pretty darn close right here. If he knocks that in, that pulls him within 1 shot of Nelson Ledesma.
Verity is all new with 2009 Open champion Stuart Sink and a member of the 59 Club, Paul Goidos. Go inside the minds of golf's odd couple on Verity, presented by Farmers Insurance, Monday, July 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern.
And now back out the 15th, Munoz. Short iron here, wedge to the next. Short iron wedge to 17. 18's a birdieable par 5 and a brilliant shot there. So a lot of birdieable holes coming in here. Should be very exciting. So you can take advantage of those holes. Now for birdie at 17, Cameron Champ, and what a comeback it's been for him. After bogeys at 13 and 14, he was reeling. He came into the week 32nd on the money list. The hole-in-one at the 15th, and it follows it up with a birdie at 16, and he's now projected at the current time to move into 28th on the money list. But he's in a 9-way tie for 7th. If he makes this, this is worth an extra $6,000, and that in this tour means a difference between 28th and 26th presently on the money list. Just to give you an idea what these players are playing for. Did he hit it? Just short. I mean, just beat, just a couple dimples short. Wow. Every shot we've seen it, Steve, in the past, how close it can come down on this tour at the end of the season. The top 25 headed to the PGA Tour, sometimes just a couple $100 making the difference.
We have seen that over the past few years. Just under 1,000 here, a couple $100 here. And it could be, every stroke counts the same. It could be something in the Bahamas in January or something in Portland next month. To the 18th, the par 5, second shot here for Sebastian Kaplan.
Yeah, difficult coming out of the rough. Very narrow green. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Well, that was set up a little tap and eagle, but it's a disappointing day. He was 6 over standing on the 18th tee.
Back down to the 15th, Kyle Jones. It's a very makeable birdie putt coming down the hill to pull within 1 of the lead. He has missed 3 or 4 short birdie putts beginning at number 9, all of them on the right-hand side. Big opportunity missed there for Kyle Jones. So he stays 2 back of Ledesma at the moment.
And when you see him consistently miss to the right, is that a trend that would be concerning?
Generally, players like to what they call release the putter. The putter swings from square on the line, but on an arc. Usually if they leave it open, then they're just a hair tight. Also to get to 19 under now, Munoz. And it's been that kind of a day for him. He's hit the ball very nicely today. Unable to get the putter going. Another opportunity missed for Sebastian Munoz, so he stays 3 back.
Munoz, Jones, Lebioda, all trying to catch Ledesma, have all given themselves great looks on this back 9, but unable to convert as we pick up Nelson Ledesma here at 16, 21 under, leads by 2, and a chance to extend that lead to 3.
Very similar length putt to the previous hole, just about 12 feet left, downhill very slightly. I don't really see a whole lot of movement to this. This would be a great way to really separate yourself at this juncture.
What a beautiful read and a great stroke. He'd come off 6 straight pars and to follow that with a birdie and get to 22 under. Well, 3 ahead.
It was a stressful stretch there at 13 and 14. It could have gone a very different way.
Yeah, you want to earn it, right? Yeah, and it has been stressful, but he's handled it with class.
17th now, Hank Lebioda, second shot out of the rough. Hole cut back right today. Land this a little short, let it release, but there's a slope right there. It hits into the slope and took a little off of it, but still a good look at birdie for Hank. What a beautiful putt answering the bell. Nelson Ledesma. Birdie extends his lead to 3. Looking for his first win on the Web.com Tour. T with driver, our leader, Nelson Ledesma.
And after a few squirrely shots, a brave choice. Oh, but he's piped that right down the middle. Beautiful shot.
That was an interesting choice, wasn't it? But a great result, in good shape now. move up ahead to the green. Lebiota has this for birdie to move to 18 under. Out of a tie for fourth, and he didn't hit it either. Cameron Champ came up one turn short. Lebiota comes up 2 feet short.
Want to connect with the path to the PGA Tour? All you have to do is like the Web.com Tour on Facebook or follow at Web.com Tour on Twitter and Instagram. So with Ledesma at 22 under par, his closest pursuer, Kyle Jones, 19 under, 3 shots back, and needs to make something happen immediately.
Yeah, you know when you start missing those short putts, and Phil analysed that beautifully, missed them all to the right, it actually puts more pressure on your long game. You try and hit it closer and closer and closer. And, you know, here's a guy that right now is just 3 back of the lead, and really probably needs to birdie all 3 holes, and that might not be good enough, but it's been an excellent week for Kyle. Again this week, 56 on the money list, and currently in that solo second. You would chance to get very close to moving inside the top 25.
One of the greats to come through Baylor University, 3rd lowest career scoring average in Waco, Texas.
I would like to see on this shot, let's see if he is in control of his course management, which requires sort of clarity and focus. The correct shot here is a little draw, just land it just barely up on top. There's a tendency to aim right and maybe have pull, which can add some length to these short irons. Love it. Absolutely love it. Great shot. Well done.
Gives himself another good look at birdie. As we jump ahead to 18, and what a week for 49-year-old Dudley Hart. This to close with birdie, not the Sunday he was looking for, as he's less than a month away from joining the PGA Tour champions.
Yeah, it's so good to have him back. You know, he's had spinal fusion twice. He was basically on his back for about 5 years, and trying to get back in the competitive swing of things as he heads to the PGA Tour champions.
Second at 16 for Munoz.
Give him a good visual after watching Kyle Jones get it inside 10 feet. Same sort of shot required. A little bit more aggressive. Took it deep. Brought it back. It'll be a fast putt down the hill, but good shot.
They both hit it close at 15.
Both missed.
And they both missed.
Yeah, hopefully they can turn the fortunes and both make.
Holes running out for Sebastian Munoz and Kyle Jones to try to catch Nelson Ledesma. Back at 18. Dudley Hart for his par, 2-time winner on the PGA Tour, 2008 Comeback Player of the Year on the PGA Tour.
He's going to try and potentially get some starts on the PGA Tour, Barbasol and Barracuda, and then his first event on the PGA Tour champions will be in Endicott, New York, up at the Dick's Sporting Goods Classic.
He also threw Canada in there. That's where he won his first PGA Tour event 22 years ago, beating David Duval coming down the stretch.
Well, and back to the 17th, somebody looking to win their first Web.com Tour event, Nelson Ledesma, in the fairway after a very good tee shot. Gary.
Just inside 120 yards left. Absolutely beautiful position here. Flag tucked in the back right. Just really don't want to go over. That's really the only danger. You can imagine just a little short would be perfect.
We had a chance, Gary, to watch him hitting wedges warming up on the range today, and he had a really nice wedge move. Looked really in control of his trajectory and his distance.
Well, you made mention a few times, haven't you? The flow through the ball is beautiful. There's not much hanging back. There's not much steering. It's just sort of natural. I think it's just pure natural, almost like a throwback, isn't it?
We see a lot of that, don't we, from that part of the world, Argentina, down that way, Angel Cabrera. Those sort of players, they seem like they grow up with, maybe without all the technological teaching and just more freedom, almost a caddy way of growing up, if you will.
So he got into the game caddying at 12. He turned professional 4 years later. So you think of all the great players from South America, all sort of seemingly play with a lot of freedom in their golf swing, unencumbered with any sort of mechanical thoughts.
Just a very slight helping breeze. Again, between the gap wedge and the sand wedge. Looks like they plumped with the sand wedge. Good solid shot. Just going a little left. That'll be on top of a small ledge, but just fine.
Yep, into the middle of the green with a very makeable birdie putt from about 18 feet. No trouble there for Ledesma.
Back at 16, Kyle Jones for birdie.
Let's see if he doesn't peak. Keep the head down, let the putter release. Oh, he overcompensated.
Looked like a better stroke, though,
Yeah, you're right.
relative to what
That
we've
putt
seen.
really had no movement in it. He started that left of the hole, so I think there was a little compensation because of the wishful strokes that have sort of sent the ball out to the right.
So a par at 16 for Kyle Jones. He knows he needs to birdie in. So a bit of frustration there for the 24-year-old. But another good week. Finished tied for 6 outside of Chicago a month ago. Looks to be well on his way to even a better finish here in Clymer, New York. Now Munoz, this to get within 3.
These guys just can't buy one.
The only player inside the top 20 here in the final round not under par. You start the final day, 1-shot lead, playing so well, and how fickle this game can
And
be.
everything was so easy yesterday in that 65, and now it's so difficult.
Ahead to 18, second here for Cameron Champ.
Second easiest hole on the golf course, already given up 5 eagles. It's probably just a mid-iron for the longest driver on this tour. And smartly done. Carry it deep, take the hazard short, but be a fast putt coming down the hill.
But a chance for a 2-putt birdie, improve by a shot, make a couple of more dollars for the former all-SEC performer at Texas A&M. But they're all trying to catch the Argentine, Nelson Ledesma. He leads by 3.
Nelson Ledesma now a chance to extend his lead at the 17th.
And a good look at the leaderboard beforehand. Downhill right to left.
Well, he cozied that down there nicely. Maybe the result of looking at that leaderboard, Gary.
No drama.
That's all he most likely needs right now. Lead is 3. 1 to play for him.
Up 1 to the 18th. Long eagle putt here for Champ.
Yeah, the bugaboo this week for the young man. He's 34 putts. Second round, 30 putts yesterday, and if he makes that, it'd be 34 today. So giving a lot of shots away on the green.
$17 now. Kyle Jones with driver. It's birdie to have any chance whatsoever. Eyeing that pensively, gets a great kick out of the rough back down into the fairway. A little longer approach maybe from there. Didn't look like he caught it very well, but it is in the fairway.
Back to 18. Champ to finish up with birdie. Get in that 16 under par.
Should be a tie for. Oh my goodness, tie for 6 now.
Said it was the bugaboo.
Yeah. How about that? 35 putts today, and
You just rattled off all those numbers, and he's inside the top 10. Currently tied for 9th at 15 under. Watch out if he ever figures out how to get it done a little bit better, more efficiently.
he can get away. If he can figure it all out from tee to green and on the greens, he could be one of those guys that could blow a field away.
70 in the final round for Cameron Champ, highlighted by our Golf Academy shot of the day. Let's go back about an hour.
Yeah.
Par 315.
See 162 yards, plays 14 yards downhill, 148 yards effectively. It's probably a wedge for the young 23-year-old. Brought it into the slope back down, and that is a perfect golf shot.
The ace at the 15 for Cameron Champ, the shot of the day. Brought to you by Golf Academy of America, and there's no better feeling. Hitting it once, walking to the green, picking the ball out of the hole. And Dominic joining us using the hashtag AskTheWeb. When a player makes an ace, why does he always pick the ball out of the hole before removing the flag?
Because if you rip the flag out and pull the ball out, then effectively it's not in the hole, right? Phil? I don't know. I think the smartest thing to do is pick it out gently with 2 fingers.
You're on your own. We're going to the 17th. Kyle Jones, second shot here on the par 4.
I'm going to stick with that.
Looking for a birdie. Oh, nice shot. Look at me go in. Look at this. Beautiful shot. 4 feet from the hole for birdie. That would pull him within 2. The last hole's a par 5. You never know. Hazard short of the green.
And we head to the last. Lebiota, his second here at the par 5.
It's the second easiest hole on the golf course. 5 eagles, 28 birdies. From that loft on that club, just laying it up. Just try and advance it down there to get to whatever your comfortable yardage is. Some may be 65, others may be 95, and whatever you feel like you can put enough spin on it for a whole location that's just 5 paces on the green.
Now Munoz is 17, currently in 3rd all alone. So I'm very confident with his swing. An example of it there coming up just short, but a good shot. Craig, one other reason you don't want to pull that ball out of the hole. If you pull the flagstick and the ball at the same time, oftentimes you can tear the hole up or bring the cup liner out with you as well.
That's a good point.
A look back to the tee at 18. Nelson Ledesma leads by 3 and hopes this is his final hole this week.
With a big lead, going with the iron off the tee, it looks like here. Just play it as a 3-shotter.
Let's take that first bunker out of play, 270. The tee shot's about 25 yards downhill.
Rifled it down the right side here.
And that's actually okay, because now you're just going to lay it up anyway. So
the 27-year-old inching closer to his first career win on the web.com tour. It also put him inside the top 25 on the money list.
And welcome back. 17th hole, Kyle Jones a chance to get to 20 under par within 2 shots of Nelson Ledesma. All right, good putt there. Kyle Jones moves to -20 and currently in 2nd place all alone.
Not going away.
He's
Giving
not going
himself
away.
a chance.
Moment before him, Munoz had this for birdie to get to 19 under and to temporarily tie Kyle Jones.
Yep.
Oh, he finally made one. Look at that reaction. That reaction tells it all right there.
Both Munoz and Jones had looks at 15 and 16, unable to convert, and lo and behold, they both birdie 17. Lebiota's 3rd here at the finishing par 5.
it's an uncomfortable one, just because that whole location's right on the front. So control the nerves, control the adrenaline, and
Hit it 35 feet past the hole.
He'll be disappointed with that one. Tough with that front hole location.
Coming up next week on tour, the PGA Tour. In the Quad Cities for the John Deere Classic. We'll be in Utah as the Web.com Tour regular season continues. A major for the PGA Tour champions in Highland Park, Illinois. The ladies in Sylvania, Ohio for the Marathon Classic and the European Tour. We'll get going in Scotland, the Scottish Open. You think we're going to be busy next week? All 5 of those events can be seen right here on Golf Channel. just how we love it. Now back to 18, the second here for Ledesma.
I think the maximum you want to hit it is 175 yards. That takes the bunkers out of play, keeps it short. 280 yards to the green. Pretty thick lie, good contact though.
Good call there, Gary. I think that looked like an 8-iron. Even if it went in that first cut, to give you a little bit more cushion. Good angle to that left hole location.
So Ledesma, good layup there. Now to the green. Lebioda, long birdie putt.
Very quick, coming straight down the hill. He's currently in a tie for 4th. And that's very good touch. Remember, Hank began the week 24th on the money list. He's projected he remains tied for 4th, move up to 16th. Big jump. A little bit more comfortable.
Yep, just 6 regular season events remain after the conclusion here in New York State. And Nelson Ledesma strolling down the fairway here at 18, getting ready for his 3rd shot. And with a win, it would be his 7th professional victory. A lot of global experience, one on PGA Tour Latino America last year, but by far this would be the most important.
Yeah, look at that. There was no indication coming in this week. Began at 101st on the money list, but he's going to move to 24th with a victory. He will still have to continue to play well and, you know, make some more money to finish in the top 25 at the end of the regular season. But a huge jump for a guy that had made half his cuts, and his best finish was in his very first event of the year, where he finished 11th in Panama.
He'd also have the knowledge that he'd be fully exempt out here in 2019.
I think you get that close, though. You get that close, you don't want to let that opportunity slip by.
Lebioda in with a par at the last 4 rounds in the 60s for the 24-year-old. He continues to impress. A solid rookie campaign for Hank Lebioda.
And 3 top 5s, including a 2nd at Raleigh. We lost by a shot there to Joey Garber.
You can see military veterans from the area tending the flag on 18 today. Great 4th of July week we've had here at Peak and Peak. No thanks to those that did serve and continue to serve our country. Allows us to do everything else we do. Roger Sloan waiting for the green to clear. Looks like he's going to give it a rip.
He picked up a couple of 1 birdie late. It'd be nice to make another one here after a poor day. Just 218 yards left.
Just watching some of the branches, and he's in the middle. We're just getting a little just low of this area here.
Yeah, Gary went out in 40. Birdie's 11 and 15.
218 is front, 223 full.
And he's 2 over par, and he's dropped 20 spots on the leaderboard, but make an eagle here. Get it back to even par for the day, 14 under. Just outside the top 10.
Slightly downwind, no more than a 5-iron from here.
He's got a hybrid in his hand, so maybe a high lofted hybrid.
I know all about them.
Probably a 6 hybrid here. Launch it really high and try and stop it at that front hole location.
Just right, the flag. Really well done.
Flick down in the low area where the hole was the first day. But a putt straight up the hill. Good shot.
So Nelson Ledesma, this his 3rd 2-shot lead. A par would almost seal the deal for him.
Just about 95 yards left. Real good look at it here. Just got to imagine just maybe a little past the flag.
Spin back down that slope. That's a little unfortunate. You know, so you got a lot of stuff pumping through the system and a putt that's very quick down the hill. But that was smartly done. Take all the trouble short out of play.
Kyle Jones trails by 2 on the tee here at the last.
Yeah, has to be aggressive. Try and take a draw off those bunkers down the right. Going to really have to hit this one dead center. And sort of just free it up and let it go to try and get it this green in 2.
because he's not the longest hitter. He's
No.
accurate.
Yeah, he's 110th in total driving, just averages about 292, and that's a good one.
So Jones in the fairway at 18. Munoz 19 under, 3 back, and next up.
Favorable wind for the shot down the player's right shoulder, trying to hit a big high draw, but you can see the marshal there saying it's going left, which is in a forest of trees.
Yeah, and there's people down there. You're safe. Thank you.
And there, look at that. Good kick back out into the fairway.
First good break he's gotten today.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So Munoz and Jones in the fairway at 18. They make their way down off the tee box, now up to the green. Ledesma, Sloan wrapping up their days. Sloan will have an eagle putt, but first will be Nelson Ledesma, the 27-year-old, with a quick one for birdie.
Well, as you say, the speed is really a factor here, and you know basically 2 putts will do it. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to lag it, isn't it?
He's putted as well as anyone this week. He has great control on the greens.
Now, bear in mind, a 2-putt par would get him in at 22 under. Still allow Kyle Jones to make eagle.
No, I agree.
So it's not a certainty, but if you can put that number on the board, you feel pretty good.
And I really like what he's doing, just taking his time. Gary mentioned about sort of taking the stress out of the shoulders, walking around. You can see he's in complete control mentally. And he's had command on these greens. The mentality here, just control your pace. You're not going to misread it by that much and try and 2-putt.
He and his caddy have got a very nice rapport as well. It's just very calm, very relaxed. And I'm looking at a few of his Argentinian compatriots here, ready to congratulate him from the back of the green.
Ledesma now for birdie.
That's what well done indeed. That's might be an uncomfortable 2.5 feet there, but he's only had 104 putts this entire week. Sort of juxtapose that till we took Cameron Champ, who was only 5 shots behind him, had 125 putts. So it's where he has done his work.
So before Ledesma finishes up, Roger Sloan has a chance to close his week out here in Clymer with an eagle.
Yeah, just putting out that bowl, just coming up and over, ridge about halfway over the putt. Should just move a little right to left. Could be very valuable at the end of the year, couldn't it, if he can pop this one in?
Admire the effort. He was trying to make the 3 to get back to level par and 14 under for the tournament.
So Sloan still away, giving Ledesma a little bit more time to maybe contemplate that 2.5 footer.
Yeah, well, I think it's, you know, you certainly try and keep your mind on the task. If you let your mind wander and think about what if and what this victory will do, that could be problematic. Seems like he's been in control of the emotions today. And with this disappointing Sunday for Roger Sloan over par. He's actually losing places on the money list. Began the week 50th. If he misses this one, he'll be projected to go 53rd. Good catch.
Good back nine,
Yeah.
considering how he started. Out in 40, home in 33, 1 over 73 here in the final round for Roger Sloan. Winner 4 years ago on this tour in Nova Scotia. Nelson Ledesma looking to get one step closer to his first victory on the Web.com tour. This for par in a round of 67.
And how about bogey free his last 54 holes of golf, and during that time 17 under par.
So Nelson Ledesma in at 22 under. It's not over. Kyle Jones has a chance to eagle the last. Sebastian Munoz could make a 2 here at the par 5 to also force a playoff.
What a week. What a week.
Again, came here 101st on the money
And
list.
projected him to finish 24th if he took down the one.
There was no indication that he was somebody we should keep an eye on. But as this week continued to progress, we started looking at him
Welcome to the
a bit more
Web.com,
intently.
sir. Exactly.
One of the many reasons this tour is so great.
Life-changing events happen weekly.
And now, back in the fairway, Kyle Jones needs eagle to force a playoff.
Yeah, and I think you can see the loft in the iron. He might be just laying up. It's not a high ball hitter, and to that front hole location may feel like you have a better chance with a wedge in his hand. Try and make the 3.
You like that?
Yeah, well, I just don't think he was probably at an uncomfortable yardage. Feel like he's had a better chance to hole a wedge than maybe try and do something that he's unable to do. Hit this high, drawing, long iron that can land softly.
Ledesma going to make it official. That final round 67 leads by 2. Will it be enough? We'll find out when we come back. Kyle Jones third at the par 5, needs to hole it to force a playoff.
Oh, brilliant effort. Come up 5 feet short of tying Ledesma at the top.
It was going to be difficult to make an eagle 3. Kyle Jones unable to do so, and with it, the 27-year-old Nelson Ledesma, the champion here at the LECOM Health Challenge. Back at 18, eagle putt here for Sebastian Munoz.
We know how quick it is. It really doesn't move very much. So get him to 21 under. Very good effort.
Started this final round 18 under, had a 1-shot lead, and maybe you could consider the favorite because he's got experience on both tours.
Yeah, and potentially even a solo third would jump him over 200,000 for the year. Right now, that birdie gets him in a tie with Kyle Jones. Kyle Jones still has a birdie attempt, but so going back to the PGA Tour, where he had a successful rookie season, the amount of events he played, just 17 events, finished 153rd.
It's not a bad little backup plan. Didn't get the victory here
Right.
at the LECOM Health Challenge, but assures himself a return trip to the PGA Tour. Now Kyle Jones for birdie.
This was outright second. He's got a little something coming back. Really struggled on the greens today. He'll have over 30 putts and had a lot of great opportunities this entire back 9.
And that's one for a young man coming in 56th on the money list. Critical dollars
Well, the solo
out
second,
of his pocket.
yeah, the solo second would have got him to 27th, about 130, 127,000. But now he's going to tie for second if he can make this one with Sebastian Munoz. So it takes a little money out of his pocket. Again, we're thinking over 170,000 is going to be the requirement to finish in the top 25 at the end of the regular season.
So a par at the last for Kyle Jones. Final round 69. Shares second with Munoz.
Yeah, career best finish. And, you know, just his 37th career start on the Web.com tour. So kudos to Kyle Jones.
A lot of positives for this young man coming out of the week, but none more than for Nelson Ledesma, the champion here in Clymer, New York, and he's with Gary.
Well, Nelson, congratulations today. What was the secret to your win today?
Bueno, primero que nada, gracias. Hoy creo que nada, traté de salir a hacer el mismo juego que venía haciendo, ¿no? Jugar tranquilo.
So thank you for being here, and he played really well. He was dialed in, and he really understood and concentrated on the course.
And you moved from 101st on the money list to inside the top 25. How excited are you to be very close to your PGA Tour card?
Tú estás 25. ¿Qué piensas de esto?
Bueno, contento ahora, ¿no? De que estoy ahí entre los 25. Ahora tratar de trabajar para quedar entre esos 25.
He's very excited where he is now, but he's got a lot of work to do, and he wants to continue to move up.
Well, thank you so much. Congratulations, our champion.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
It's actually the right attitude. He jumps to 24th on the money list, but only 133,000, so he's going to need probably another 40,000 to guarantee his tour card.
Nelson Ledesma started the day tied for second, 17 under, a shot off the lead. Some of his highlights here in the final round. This for birdie at 7.
Now, this is sort of where it all started. There was a beautiful iron shot in there, and then the par 5 pitched it underneath the hole, and he putted from this distance beautifully all day. That would be for 2 straight birdies.
And then for 3 in a row at the 9th.
Yeah, so the previous hole right to left, this downhill left to right, handled them all with ease.
Out in 32, 4 under par. And then rattled off 6 straight pars in the back 9, but they all weren't easy. How about this second at 13?
Well, he had a very poor iron shot off the tee, about 40 yards short of the green. Ball well above his feet, standing on the cart path, and that was an exquisite shot.
After some good looks for birdie at 11 and 12, we were wondering if he was beginning to feel the pressure. This par save certainly let us know where he stood.
Oh, absolutely. That could have been what he really needed. And then he missed the green short and right at 14, and another brilliant pass. Those 2 holes, 13 and 14, ends up winning by 2 shots. Could have been the difference.
And then at 16 for yet another birdie.
Beautiful wedge shot, little hook spin in there above the hole, and that one poured right in the center.
His 5th and final birdie of the day, went bogey free and capped it off with this par at the last.
Steve, bogey free his last 54 holes around this golf course. That's impressive.
Nelson Ledesma began this week 101st on the money list. Now a winner on the Web.com tour, now inside the top 25 on the money list. It's his 7th international victory, but by far this the most important of his career as the 27-year-old from Argentina, a winner on the Web.com tour. Today's coverage. So the victor goes the spoils. Nelson Ledesma signing a few autographs, and why shouldn't he? He's now a winner on the Web.com tour. Bogey free 67 secures him a 2-shot victory, and with that win, Craig goes from 101st to 24th on the money list. So he probably achieved a lifelong goal today, but in the bigger picture, he wants to achieve the ultimate goal. Still has work to do. Probably needs to earn about another $40,000 to secure a PGA Tour card.
Yeah, he said that in his post-round interview there, which I admire. You know, instead of getting caught up with the victory, he knows exactly what he needs to do.
One of the great things about the Web.com tour is to introduce the viewers to the new young players, the up-and-comers that we expect to see on the PGA Tour. We probably didn't know that Nelson Ledesma was going to break through this week, become a winner, and get inside that top 25. What did you learn about this young man today and this week?
Well, he was flawless, you could say. 0 bogeys in the last 54 holes. And we talked about no indication of any sort of form. He probably found something, certainly on these greens. He was the best putter in the field this week. But to start the week 101st, you are really searching, right? You're just hoping for a spark. And, you know, it got off to a good start, and he just continued to the flow and felt comfortable on these greens. You know, to play professional golf, you go through the ebbs and the flows and the ups and the downs, the emotional roller coaster, and to avoid any mistakes over those last 54 holes, to play those 54 holes 18 under without a bogey, is so impressive. To get the victory, he's now put himself into position 24th on the money list, but he knows there's still a lot of golf to go, and so I admire that. You sort of bask in the glow of winning, but then you get down to business to go, I've still got a lot of work to do in these remaining 6 events in the regular season.
Sebastian Munoz held the 54-hole lead. Didn't have his best stuff here on Sunday, but there's always plenty to play for here on the Web.com Tour. And with his finish this week, he knows he's going back to the PGA Tour.
Well, even that birdie on the last when Kyle Jones didn't birdie, now he's going to project to 4th on the money list, but he's now at 213,000. So the big thing for these guys are that, let's say, in the top 5. Sungjae Im has held the #1 spot now for 17 weeks. You're going to try, that #1 spot is so important, Steve, because if you can keep that through the remainder of the regular season, you get your tour card. But if you keep it through the entirety of the season, the combined money list, you're fully exempt on tour. You don't have to deal with a reshuffle. You don't have to worry if you don't get off to a good start in the wraparound season. So, you know, still a commanding lead there for Sungjae Im, but then Sebastian Munoz now 4th. He began the week 11th.
And again, we're projecting about 174,000, enough to get your PGA Tour card. So if that holds true, the top 9 there, all the way down through Anders Albertson, they feel pretty comfortable that they've got a card wrapped up.
Yeah, if Joey Garber, you could say, could make a couple more. Hey, he's going to try and win every golf tournament, we understand that, but in the back of your mind, you know, make 2 or 3 more cuts the remainder of the regular season. I'm going to be sure to get my card.
Ledesma enjoying what a special day it is. 6 regular season events left. We've shown the bubble. What is the most important thing for those that have work to do to try to make the most of what remains between now through Portland?
Well, you don't go about changing the whole plot here. You continue to work on those things, do some maintenance, try and, you know, just continue to play, you know, what has worked for the first 17 weeks of the year. Continue to play well and just know that there's a big prize at the end of the regular season.
Maverick McNeely, a final round 66. He finishes tied for 15th. One of those that has some work to do in the final 6 events of the regular season. We are back next week when we'll be just outside of Salt Lake City for live first round coverage of the Utah Championship presented by Zion Bank. That comes your way 7 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. Coming up next, final round coverage of the Thornberry Creek LPGA Classic. What a week in Clymer, New York at the Peak in Peak Resort. Nelson Ledesma, your champion. For Phil Blackmore, Gary Christian, Craig Perks, and the entire crew who brought you all the coverage this week, I'm Steve Burkowski saying so long from New York, where Ledesma has reached the summit.